Welcome back to my channel, guys. And after a very long time, I'm finally able to give you guys a breakdown on my Kinetic Rush render challenge final submission. This is going to be a total breakdown, taking you guys from the idea all the way to the finished product. So the idea, my idea is simply called Damsel in Distress. It plays on the saying damsel in distress, but then it's not like damsel in this dress, in which she's also in distress. Yeah, you understand? So here we are in the software where all the magic happened, which is Blender. And let's take it step by step. So firstly, we are going to talk about the character. And this character is simply a human gen model, a human gen character, which I retargeted the animation that came with the starter file with Auto Rig Pro. I have a tutorial on that on my YouTube channel, so check it out if you want to know how to retarget animations very easily in Blender. I also go along some pitfalls you may run into while retargeting animation, so the fix and everything again. So yeah, we have our character from human gen retargeted with Auto Rig Pro. Go and watch that tutorial, and then after that comes the cloth. Yeah, after that comes the cloth, and this is a tough one. I wish I could show you guys the listing, but the marvelous designer file crashed, so I can't after I was done simulating, the file crashed, so I can't really show you guys the whole process. But this was a very hectic simulation to accomplish. As you can see, there are small pleated petals down, so the marvelous designer had to simulate each thing one by one. So the bust up one, and then each of these one by one, to make sure the simulation was very stable. And if we go back to the first frame here, you can see that this is also part of the cloth. So this was like, it was part of the design. I was still thinking, should I add this to cover up this whole place, to make it like a whole wedding dress. But then later on, I didn't like this. But the marvelous designer file had already crashed after all my whole simulation, so I just added a transparent shader to this in Blender, and that's why you don't see it when we go into the rendered view. So yeah, basically that's how the cloth was created. It was more hectic than I'm saying. I'm also going to come up with a tutorial on creating garments in Marvelous Designer. And yeah, then we go to the next thing, which is the hair. The hair was quite easy. A simple Blender hair system. If you let me draw your attention here, look to these side panels. Yeah. So if you go to the particle, you can see main hair. That is what this is. And the grooming of the hair was inspired by Moana. That's why it's coily and all. But yeah, that's just it. Just groom it and simulated it, and the animation that came with the starter file, just it did what it was meant to do, and everything looked nice. So let's move on to the next thing, which is the environment. The environment was basically stolen from this of my former project. So I just imported that environment into here, and just like made it match, and that's how we have the environment. So there was nothing more. This While creating this, I didn't want to do something that was going to be so overwhelming and long, because this was the first time I'm participating in the challenge. I wanted something that would be easy for me to accomplish, and so that's why I was just reusing things. And the only thing that actually took me time was creating and simulating the garment. So yeah, and after that, that was the environment. That was quite calm. It's just the environment for my former project. I just made it fit here, and yeah, let's look at how it things are. You can see, for the lighting, that's a good segue. For the lighting, it's just the Blender sky texture, and I just made the light fit. Made some light flood into here. And yeah, that's what made it look nice. And the next thing we're going to go with the flower. So the flower, the flowers, yeah, because this is a wedding dress. So obviously, if she's a damsel in distress that is just coming from a wedding, she's meant to have what? Wedding flowers. And that is what these are. And these flowers I just got it from Botanic roughly, and then I just did some rough kind of modeling for the flower holder. Then if we look closely, you will see that there are some simulation going on in the flowers, and basically those are particle sims. So there is a box, there's a tiny cube inside here which is emitting the flowers, which are emitting some tiny some parts of the flowers as particles, which now makes as if, so when they are running, as if the flowers are flying out. That's what this is meant for. And then for the flower itself, the simulation of like the wiggle of the flower, that was done with cloth sims. Quite ironic, I know. So this, I created a cage, which is this, and this is a cloth sim. If you are looking here, this is a cloth sim with internal springs added, so that it doesn't buckle much, like it doesn't become cloth. Like internal springs adds springs to the vertices to make them stand strong. So after I simulated this with this base geometry, then what I did was with the flower with the flowers itself under the modifiers, I added a surface deform modifier and binded it to this material. But then there's a problem now when this happens, because when you are running with the, what they call it, when you are running with the flower, the surface deform modifier only deforms the surface. It doesn't deform, it doesn't carry it in motion. It doesn't also translate movement. It only translates the surface. It doesn't translate movement. So I also have to parent the flower itself to the surface deform mesh, so that it also follows location and rotation. Then the surface deform now deforms it like with simulation, and basically that's how the flower was created. And with that, yeah, I can say that is how almost everything was done. The remaining things are just mods and polling, and yeah, and then I added a volumetric, which is fog, just a volume cube. I added that to just style the whole stuff together. Let's see if we can preview. Yeah, so I added volumetrics, as you can see, to just make everything look nice. And basically that is how I created my kinetic rush render submission. I didn't make it to top 100, but I hope that in the next one, if I'm chanced, I'll be able to go somewhere. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch how to retarget animations in Blender. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. More stuffs are coming. Peace.